All right, welcome back to the third lesson for uh, the exponent unit, chapter 4. Um, like last time, I told you about the negative exponents and that we don't leave them as negative values or negative exponents. I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So here are the rules. Now, before I show you the rules, actually, I'm going to show you this example here using the pattern, okay? So, we can find out what 2 to the power 3 is. We know that already, that was 8, and 2 squared is 4. And you know what? I'll actually move this a little bit to the right. Okay, so 2 cubed is 8, 2 squared is 4, 2 to the power of 1 is a 2, 2 to the power of 0 is 1, right? We talk about this, we just divide it by 2, divided by 2, divided by 2. Well, now we can keep going, right? We can change, decrease the exponents by 1, so from 0, it's going to become negative 1. Well, this, if you continue to divide it by 2, well, 1 divided by 2 is 1 half, right? 2 to the negative 2, and again, we're going to continue to divide it by 2, and that's going to be 1 out of 4. Now, notice how 1 out of 4 can be expressed as, well, 4 is 2 squared, isn't it? And then if you keep going with 2 to the negative 3, and you're going to keep dividing this by half, you're going to get 8. And again, this is 1 over 2 cubed. So that's what's happening here with the negative exponent. Essentially, what you're doing is you are going to write the base as the reciprocal of what the original base was, and then you're going to carry the exponent with the base, but instead of negative exponent, it's now going to turn into a positive exponent. Okay, so that's exactly what we have here. Notice how this was negative n, but once we've changed base a to 1 over a, the exponent goes with a, so now the exponent is just n in the denominator again, but now it's positive. Okay, so essentially what you're doing is you're writing the reciprocal of the base. Okay, you're flipping it. So notice here how we have negative m as the exponent for a and negative n as the exponent for b. Because both exponents are negative, we are going to rewrite it as its reciprocal. So a over b becomes b over a. Notice how the exponent goes with the base, but now instead of being negative, they are now positive. Okay. Or in other way around, you can think this as a over b to the power of negative n. Again, in order to change the exponent negative to a positive value, all you have to do is you write the reciprocal of the base, which is just the fraction but flipped. Okay, a over b becomes b over a. So some examples here. 2 to the negative 3, we just show you here. This really is the same as 1 over 2 cubed. Again, negative exponent, so you move it to the denominator, and that is 1 out of 8. This one here, 2 over 3 to the negative 2, again, negative exponent, which means we can flip the fraction, so it becomes 3 over 2, and now the exponent becomes a positive value. Okay, so then this becomes 9 over 4. Okay, so again, the negative exponent does not make the expression or the expression negative. Okay, that's the key. That's a common mistake. People think that the negative exponent will make the number negative. No, it does not. You simply need to change the base to its reciprocal. Okay, so 5y to the negative 3. So be careful here. We actually have two exponents, right? That's 5 to the 1, y to the 1. This is a power of a power scenario here. So we're going to end up with 5 to the negative 3 times y to the negative 3. Okay, so then this becomes 1 over, again, negative exponent, so that's 5 cubed, y cubed, or this is 1 over 5 cubed is 125, and y cubed. Or you can do it one other way, you can do this, is this, okay? You can think of this as one whole thing. Because of the negative exponent, I am just going to flip this as y, 1 over 5y, and then cube it. Okay, so again, this is the same thing as 5y over 1. So then I can flip the fraction, taking the reciprocal, so it becomes 1 over 5y. And now the negative exponent becomes positive. Then you do 1 over 5 cubed, y cubed, and you end up with the same answer as that. Okay, so that's another way you can do it. Okay, part D, and actually for part D, I'm going to do it that way. Again, I see negative exponent, so right away, I'm going to flip the fraction. So 2a cubed goes to the denominator and 5b squared goes to the numerator, and I still have the square. And now I just need to square everything inside the bracket. So that's 5 squared b to the power of, now 4 because it's 2 times 2. Okay, again, this is the power of a power scenario. 2 squared, and a to the power of 6. Again, that's 3 times 2. Now we can evaluate this quickly. 5 squared is 25. B to the 4 is still b to the 4, and 2 squared is 4, and a to the power of 6 is still a to the power of 6. So that's the answer, and that's the answer. Okay, so I show you these 4 examples. Hopefully you understand a little bit better of how to deal with negative exponents. There are, 6 questions here for you to try. Okay, pause the video and give them a try. I'll show you the answers in a bit. Okay, hopefully at least part A is not that bad. Again, negative exponent, you simply move it to the denominator, and now exponent is 1. Obviously, you don't have to write the 1, so really it's just 1 over x. Okay, now part B is kind of tricky because now the exponent is negative in the denominator. Well, it doesn't matter, okay? If it's in the denominator and the exponent is negative, all you have to do is now you move it to the top, right? So then, because this was on the bottom, so you move the x to the power 5 to the top, and you move 1 to the bottom. Okay, so then this is just x to the power 5. Actually, I shouldn't say that you move 1 to the bottom, because we don't actually move this one to the bottom. What happened was, if you move this to the top, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's gone, right? I mean, at the end of the day, this is the same as 1 over 1 times x to the negative 5. So once you move this to the top, this one still exists, and that's why you have this one here. And I mean, this one didn't move, so technically you can write a 1 there as well. But I mean, really, there's no point of writing a coefficient of 1. So it's just going to be x to the power 5. Okay, so that's that. Part C, okay, so here, what we should do is we should probably combine these two together first because we are multiplying power. So again, we just need to add exponents. So 5 plus negative 2, that's just 3. And that's it. Okay, for D, okay, now this one, I would, again, because of the negative exponent, I would change this into a fraction and write it as negative 2x cubed, all of that squared. Okay, notice how I just flip this to the denominator. Okay, we're changing it to the denominator because of negative exponent. And once you've done that, then the exponent becomes positive. You have 1 squared, which is 1. You have negative 2 squared, which is now positive 4. And then x cubed squared, again, that's a power of power situation. You multiply exponents, so you get 6, x to the power 6. Okay, now for part E, I noticed I have a negative exponent here. However, I also noticed that inside the brackets, these are 2 powers with the same base. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to simplify this first. This is x over x to the negative 2. So again, this is division. So we are now going to subtract exponent. Again, there's a missing 1, or not a missing 1, it's just a 1 that's not written down. So you subtract the exponents, 1 minus negative 2, that's a 3 to the power of negative 2. You could actually multiply this out first because this is a power of power. That's going to be x to the negative 6. And now, because of the negative exponent, we are now going to move x to the denominator. Okay, so then your final answer is 1 over x to the 6. Okay, similarly with E, for part F, what I would do is I would simplify what's inside first. Okay, simplify what's inside first. It's always easier if you simplify things inside first. Negative 2 out of 3, there's nothing we can do about that, so we're going to leave it there. For the x's, again, this is division of the power with the same base. So that's x divided by x squared. This is exponent of 1. Okay, if you divide them, again, remember that means you subtract the exponents. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1. For y, that's 3 minus 3, that's 0. Therefore, we end up with no more y's. For z, we have 1 minus negative 2, which gives us a 3. And we still have negative 4 as our exponent. Now, because of the negative 4, I'm going to, and also because we have coefficient here, I am actually going to flip it first. So I'm going to change this 3 to the top. Negative 2, x to the negative 1, and z to the 3 goes to the denominator. And now the exponent is positive. Now I'm going to evaluate this. 3 to the power of 4 is 81. Negative 4 to the power of 4, again, even power for the negative value will actually turn into a positive value, so 16. That's x to the negative 1 to the power of 4, so we multiply the exponents, we get negative 4. And z to the power of 3 to the power of 4, again, power of a power, you multiply exponents, so you get 12. But again, you do not want to leave your answer as negative exponent, so what you do then is you move. Okay, now this is also a common mistake. The negative exponent negative 4 is only for x, and therefore we only move x to the top. Okay, we only move x to the other side of the fraction. We do not move 81, we do not move 16, and we do not move z to the power of 12. Okay, again, because the negative exponent negative 4 is only for x, and therefore you only move x. Okay, so that is important. Keep that in mind. Okay, so that's how you deal with negative exponents. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck with your homework questions.